20 things you didn't know about these world traditions. In a world full of weird things, some people are still celebrating some traditions that will blow your mind. Some drink the soup of the deceased. Some throw cinnamon on those who are single, while some dance on the graves of their loved ones. Today we're going to show you some rituals which are quite odd to celebrate, but before that, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. La Tomatina. Imagine fighting on the street turning into a tradition. Well, this is what happened in Spain. A fight started during what they call the Holy Week, or procession in Spain, in which people started throwing things from the market, specifically tomatoes. While the world is still busy fighting to decide if the tomato is a fruit or a vegetable, or how to even pronounce the word tomato, Spanish people made a tradition named La Tomatina, where they throw tomatoes at each other. Well, this sounds cool, right? Being 25 and single in Germany. Birthdays are one of the most awaited celebrations in everyone's life. Getting bundles of gifts, throwing a birthday bash, and yes, enjoying a good piece of cake. Sounds great, right? But this only happens if you are under 25 years old in Germany. This odd German tradition exists where if you are 25 and single, your friends will bring a string containing old socks to show that you are getting old. Never expected that kind of rotten gift. I wonder if they would have kept them dirty and not washed for years. Ugh. Being 25 and single in Denmark. Similar to Germany, Denmark also has a tradition if you are 25 and single. In Denmark, people throw cinnamon on those who are 25 and single. But cinnamon smells a little bit better than old socks, right? Well, I would say it's better to celebrate your birthday in Denmark. At least you will get sugar and spice and everything will be nice. St. Catherine's Day. While people were throwing cinnamon in Denmark and gifting a string of old socks in Germany, people in France have a tradition where women 25 or older celebrate being single in November. They wear green or yellow hats to depict that they are happy being single and 25. Now, finally something to look forward to at age 25. Yellow roses. Every rose color has its meaning. Red is love, orange is energy, and yellow is friendship or joy. But in Mexico, yellow roses symbolize death, and not just to those who receive the rose. A situation of thanks but no thanks, because Mexican people take it as a threat. You better read up on your concept of flowers before sending one. It could be pain with no gain. Spit on hands. Usually, when someone wants to show aggression, they would spit on another's face or even the floor. This is a very rude gesture and is also considered ill-mannered in most cultures. But if you see someone doing that in Tanzania, then hold the judgment because it is their way of saying safe travels and goodbye. They spit on their hand and shake hands with the other person to wish them good luck. It is done at weddings and even while signing a deal. I hope they stopped doing this after coronavirus happened. Crying at weddings. Perhaps you've seen an Indian or Pakistani girl crying on their wedding day while leaving their home. Well, this reminds me of the first day of school. Anyways, if you're wondering why these cultures cry at their wedding, the Chinese made a tradition where the bride starts crying 1 month before the wedding, and later the whole family joins her. Now, the question is, why are they making it a tradition? Well, they have found a new way to bless a life full of joy. I would prefer peanut butter and jelly with the Fraggle Rock song. Cheers, but no cheers. While cheersing, clinking the glass is mandatory in many regions of the world. Some make announcements by clinking the glass with a spoon and then cheersing. But if you are thinking of cheersing in Hungary, you better think twice because this reminds them of the defeat they faced against Austria in the 1848 revolution. But that's not the only country that has a ban on clinking glasses. In many Muslim countries, clinking a glass is a symbol of bad company. Their history highlights that when the Muslims were offering prayers, people tried to distract them with loud music and by clinking their glasses. Baby jumping. Imagine someone jumping over your child. You would rightfully scream at that person for fear that they would trample them. But after this, you would probably let them jump. In Spain, it is said that every kid has a kind and evil spirit with them when they are born. Many countries and religions have different methods of keeping the devil away. Some baptize the kids, some conduct a puja, and some loudly whisper in their child's ear. But in Spain, a man wearing a clown suit jumps over the child, indicating that he or she is now a kind spirit child. Tossing babies. If you are not scared of a man jumping over your baby, then you must see this chilling tradition happening in India. In some areas of India, when a baby is born, the parent will toss the child from a 50-foot-high building just to protect the child from evil spirits. Hope the devil isn't scared of heights. Burning coals. Imagine your boss asking what your skills are, responding with pressure handling. So he throws some coal on a fire and asks you to walk over the burning coals with loads of files. That's a dark one. But many people in the world walk on coals to symbolize power, strength, and pressure handling skills. Some cultures consider it a religious tradition, but in China, the husband is asked to walk on burning coals carrying his pregnant wife to show that this man can carry the responsibilities. But what if the man falls? Yikes. Ashes of the dead. Who loves soup in winter? Well, I did before watching this video. The Yanomami people have the strangest traditions of death. Just like Indians, they burn the body, but the Hindus usually throw the ashes in the holy water of the Ganga River. The Yanomamis had a different idea. They paint their faces with the ashes of the deceased. And not only this, but the remaining ashes are mixed with bananas and vegetables to make soup. So they might say your brother tasted so good last night. Singing and dancing on graves. While most people cry at the death of their loved ones, people in Kailash Valley, Pakistan, have a unique style of funeral. They stand around the dead body and sing songs. Later, they dance to the beat of a drum to ensure a peaceful death. But this is not all. They never used to bury the deceased. Instead, they would lay them in a wooden box, uncovered. But after the government stepped in with policies on environmental pollution, they now bury them in graveyards. Finger cutting. Women have endured plenty of rituals regarding death. In India, they wear a white sari, symbolizing that she is now a vidwa of the deceased. And in other countries, they wear black for grief. But in the Dani tribe of Indonesia, women get a finger cut off after the death of every family member. They also apply ashes or clays on their face to show grief. Sheesh, wasn't the emotional grief enough for that poor human being? No bathroom. You might have heard that India is now working on making bathrooms available for everyone. But if you ask the people of Thailand, they would tell you, we have a ritual. From the day of a wedding till the third day after, the couple is not allowed to use the bathroom at any cost. Which means someone shit the bed. They have to spend the 3 days in bed, which sounds naughty. But having to hold 3 days worth of food in sounds disgusting. You could only imagine the smells. Yuck. Eating the placenta. The placenta is the sac that comes out of the mother right after having a baby. But in some countries, the mothers eat the placenta for the nutritional value. I've heard of pregnancy cravings, but the delivery craving is even worse. You might have gotten your tooth filed by a dentist, but did you know this is a tradition in some cultures? Sounds crazy, right? Well, in some Hindu regions of Indonesia, the tradition of tooth filing is done before marriage. This is done because teeth are the symbol of greed, anger, and confusion. It is said to ready you for marriage. Throwing furniture. Well, in movies you might see an angry girlfriend throwing out clothes or a fight where things are flying out of the window. But if you were in South Africa during the New Year, don't think that there is a fight happening between a couple because they have a tradition to throw old furniture out of the window. This is done to make space, which brings hope for a happy new year. Imagine a sofa dropping down the window. Better watch out while walking the streets. Mangalik wedding. Mangalik weddings are one of the most bizarre on earth. Since childhood, every girl dreams of finding their Prince Charming, riding a horse, living in a castle. But what if you were born in India with a defective horoscope? The dream of marrying a Prince Charming will suffer a delay because you will be asked to marry a tree or a dog. Imagine introducing your banana tree husband to the world. Multiple husbands. Following Manglik tree and dog husbands, we have a tradition that involves multiple husbands. It's not for greed of love, but it is for greed of land. In Himachal Pradesh, a girl is married to all her brothers just to secure a piece of land. She is supposed to love them equally and spend equal time with each brother. Sounds quite weird, right? Well, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to mention your favorite part in the comments section. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that we upload 2 videos a week. Sometimes I'm very absent-minded.